My name is Sophie Pierre, and I'm the chairman of the board for the St. Eugene Resort. The St. Eugene Resort is built on the lands that at one point was the Kootenai Indian Residential School. The residential school operated from 1912 until 1970. Because this is a former residential school, a story came out today that was misinterpreted, and it's really, really unfortunate because it continues the hurt that as people like myself who spent 9 years in residential school, this is traumatizing. And this whole misinterpretation of the information that we have has been very, very painful to deal with. The scenario, the true story here, what has happened is that my community of Akam, we have a graveyard that is adjacent to the residential school. This was all a mission at one time that was run by the Catholic orders, the Jesuits, and then Oblates of Mary Immaculate. So this, being a mission, has graves that date back to the mid-1800s. In more recent memory, it has become just the Akam community graveyard. And so we were wanting to replace a fence. And in doing that, came upon an unmarked grave. So we stopped all of the work and said, we need to get one of those ground penetrating radars to find out where all these, because we knew already there was a big section of our graveyard that didn't have any markers, and we knew that there were graves there. But we use wooden crosses. Wooden crosses deteriorate, wooden crosses burn. And if you don't replace them immediately, those records get lost. So we knew that there was a large portion, but we didn't realize that just where the fence was, that there were more graves there. So we stopped all the work, brought in the GPR, they did their survey, identified 182 sites. Just a week ago Monday, the elders in our community, we were talking about, okay, now we know where these are. We want to make sure that we remember where these are. How are we going to mark them? We don't have the resources to put in nice, granite headstones. So what we were talking about was, we'll start with maybe river rocks, just to make sure that we never have this happen again.
I think I can only give my take today as a Canadian citizen and as a guest to the territory. It's heartbreaking, and I think that many communities are reeling from the tragic news of what many people have known all along, right? And Canadians, I think, are just now coming to terms with the reality of what people have been trying to tell us. And all I can relate is how I'm feeling, and it's that many people are becoming woke to the reality of our history. And I think that we can't ignore it anymore. And I hope that Indigenous people just understand how loved they are and how respected and how we're all grieving together. And I know that words might feel cheap in light of the circumstances, but I think that it is really heartfelt that people are wanting to know how can we help and how can we show up.